Why are you the way that you are? Welcome to the Integrity Effect. Please do not mind the crickets. They're our live audience today, and they're really enjoying the show, as you can hear.
Yes, they love keyboards.
They
apparently.
love keyboards. This episode of our show is brought to you by you guys for the Patreon. Remember, you can go to our website. It's linked below, and you guys can subscribe for only like $1 a month, or and only for a couple months if you want, or 0 months, or do whatever
Less
you
than the
want.
price of a cup of coffee, I'm told. I don't actually.
You don't drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
It's less than the price of coffee.
Okay, well, I'm not lying to you guys, so get in there.
And thank you for you guys who are already a patron. We really appreciate you guys. This is how we're able to do the show, guys. So thank you so much for supporting us. So, Justin, what are we talking about? What are you doing?
Today, we're answering an age-old question.
Yeah?
Why are keyboards not in alphabetical order?
I bet the caveman asked that same question.
Well, maybe not, but we are, so let's get into it. So QWERTY is a keyboard layout named for the first 6 letters in the top left corner of your average keyboard. The question is, why do we use it over any other letter layout?
Before we understand what QWERTY is and why we use it today, we have to know why we even use keyboards and where they came from. So, we have to go way, way back to the old days. Typewriters. Yes, I know, typewriters. Some of you might not even know what that is. Typewriters were a mechanical creation that allowed men to type a lot faster. They came about in the mid-19th century with the Industrial Revolution. And they work with, you press the keys on a keyboard like you would see today, and it operates a lever that puts an imprint of that key onto a ribbon that applies ink to paper. And it was really permanent and a lot faster than writing with your hand. To show you how fast writing went from handwriting to mechanical keyboards with a typewriter, in 1858, the world record for writing was 30 words per minute, which is actually pretty impressive if you're scribbling down on a piece of paper. But when we started using typewriters, that average, or that world record, went to 130 words per minute. That is a lot. That's a big difference.
So typewriters were pretty cool and a huge advancement, but they had some limitations. Notably, space. Space was the final frontier for typewriters too. Early typewriters actually had 2 keyboards for upper and lowercase, and it was a huge advancement when they actually developed a shift key that allowed multiple carriages to exist rather than multiple keyboards, saving a ton of space and a ton of money. Some other ways they saved space were special characters. For example, an exclamation point wasn't a key. You would instead hold the spacebar down to prevent the carriage from moving forward, press the 1 key, and then a period to make an exclamation point.
Now, QWERTY actually came up in 1874 with a company named Scholes and Glidden. They made the first commercial typewriters, the first typewriters that would end up in your average home, and they actually incorporated QWERTY, and that is still the system we use today in our modern keyboards. Isn't that crazy?
QWERTY is not the only thing from typewriters that we still use today. A lot of our terminology for keyboarding and computing comes from typewriters. For example, the backspace key existed on a typewriter. Unfortunately, it didn't actually delete mistakes, but it would move the carriage back still. The shift key, as I spoke about a little earlier, did pretty much the same thing, but in a more complicated way. And the caps lock key used to be called a shift lock, and also worked similarly.
Now, QWERTY isn't the only keyboarding format out there. A guy in 1936 named Dvorak, he so aptly named the format after himself, as would I think.
Me too.
What about the bracket format? How's that?
I think that's already a key.
We'll talk about that
confusing.
later. That would get confusing, yeah. In 1936, he came up with a format that argues to have 60% less finger motion than a QWERTY keyboard would have. And it's weird because it's not in place today. Most people don't even use it. The standard is QWERTY. But the question we haven't really answered is why.
So one old wives' tale that goes around regarding QWERTY is that it was chosen because alphabetical order would actually allow typists to type too fast and will cause the levers on a typewriter to jam up with each other. So QWERTY was actually intended to slow people down. Whether this is true or not, no one knows for sure.
So the main reason that QWERTY is still in use today is because it was the most popular and it's been used for the longest. It would be so expensive to change. Think about it. We all take classes when we're in high school or maybe even middle school about how to type and using our modern keyboards. And so then you would have to have all those people learn a different format. You would have to get every computer changed if you wanted to use a new format. Your phone setup is set up in QWERTY. Their keyboards, they would have to change those. You would have to retype, learn to type everything.
So we were really disappointed to learn that there was no real scientific reason for QWERTY to exist in the first place, and there's not much scientific reason for it to still exist today. But that doesn't mean that we can't use it and be more efficient ourselves. So guys, what we're challenging you to do is leave us a comment, but check out the description, follow some instructions, change your keyboard layout to Dvorak, and then try leaving a comment in Dvorak. Let us know how that goes.
Yes, please let us know how that goes. We'll be trying it out ourselves in the description of this video, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Remember to leave a comment with what you guys want to hear us talk about and explain. We love doing this research for you guys, and this is a blast for us. So just let us know what you want to hear, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing on this video.
See you next week, Internet.
Bye.